Hey, my name is Ray Flores. I'm a proud and loyal member of the First and 10 Tailgate. You're listening to First and 10 with my man, the main man, Vaz.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 25, First and 10 with Foz. Your boy Foz holding it down with this guy Maxwell, as always. So you guys just saw the Memorial Man, big loss for the Chicago Bears this last week. Legendary linebacker, legendary all-around football player of all time, Dick Butkus, passed away at the age of 80. Man, his highlights, his pictures, man, how he played the game. Maxwell, what do you got to say about Mr. Butkus?
Almost like a mythic character. Like he almost doesn't even he wasn't even real because none of us really ever saw him anyway.
Yeah, no, we were.
But you saw some of the NFL film stuff, and like mythic. Like you wouldn't think like somebody like that.
Yeah.
Is like old or could die, like kind of like Hulk Hogan or Paul Bunyan or like Davy Crockett.
What do you mean that immortal man just died?
Yeah. So he probably invented a lot of linebacking.
He's been super healthy, from my understanding. His son runs a podcast. He's been on the podcast. He's been active at Soldier Field. He's been active on social media. It was just kind of out of nowhere. And I mean, kind of took me through a whirlwind. One of our guys for First and 10, Billy Flores, that's his number one favorite player. And when he was on the show, we were talking about how he wanted to get Butkus's autograph because he's got a Bears van. There's a Butkus seat in his car. And
that's cool.
We joked, and he's just like, I'll get it. He ain't going nowhere. Right? He ain't going nowhere. I was like, just Butkus. No, but dude, he was one of the best football players of all time. I mean, the stuff he did on the field, you couldn't get away with today. The punching, the hitting, the fighting, the biting, the slamming the head in the ground, dude. He was just unreal, dude, and probably one of the most unsafe eras of the NFL too.
And that's another. I mean, that's another like quality of Dick Butkus. Like you didn't hear about any of the CTE or any bad side effects. Like you saw him, like that dude looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for an 80-year-old man
out there walking, he looks better than a lot of the guys that are played the last 20, 30 years.
He looked pretty stellar. One of my most recent favorite things, we just talked about this before the show, is he was on social media and posted something. Somebody commented, "You killed my grandpa." And then he replied and said he probably deserved it. I mean, I laughed out loud when I read that. So blessings to him and his family. Every Bears fan owes him debt of gratitude. One of the best Bears players to ever grace the field. One of the best football players to ever grace the field. So God bless him, and R.I.P. Mr. Butkus. The Bears fucking won a game, dude. The Bears won a game.
Yeah, I don't believe
Thursday night football, dude. I had a weird feeling. I picked them last week, by the way.
Did you?
I did.
Good for you.
24-17. I mean, it was 40-20. I don't think anyone expected the Bears to go 40 points on offense.
No.
Against the Commanders, who had a pretty decent defense coming into this game. But yeah, dude, they lit it up. So we'll get into that. But we clinched the 13-game losing streak, and Club Dub is back open, baby. Fuck.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's get into some news, man. I think one of the biggest topics since the last game is Mr. Claypool is finally gone.
Bye, Felicia.
Y'all fancy.
See you later, sir. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. I don't think anyone was upset that Mr. Claypool left. What do you think, Maxwell?
I'm only upset that he was ever here. Yeah, complete waste. I mean, just a total waste of a pick and a person. And, you should have thought about it a little bit better, that if Mike Tomlin and the Steelers can't figure you out, ain't nobody figuring it out. So,
yeah, no, exactly. I think we all had high hopes. We were all trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, the talent's there.
The talent is there.
Yep.
And I think my funniest thing I heard is when Mike McCarthy found out that Claypool was going there. He said, and I quote, "We definitely weren't looking for receiving help." Dude, Mike McCarthy is my favorite coach in the NFL, dude. He's so funny. Dude.
And you're not going to get any. So
I'm sorry, Mike McDaniels.
McDaniels,
yeah. Dude, he's just so funny. All of his press conference, all of his comments, dude.
Yeah.
I found out later on that he was going into the crowd with the offensive playbook during the 70-20 game and letting fans pick plays from the offensive playbook.
Oh
dude. How funny is that, dude?
Wow, I didn't know that. That's quite something.
So obviously we know we won the Washington game on Thursday, but the rumor going into it was Flu was going to lose his job if we lost. How much do you believe truth in that, given the fact that Bears have never fired a head coach in 104 years in the middle of the season?
I'd say 50-50, just because it looked so bad, and that Denver loss was so bad that if you went in here and let's say the score was reversed, it was 40-20.
If you say yes, I mean, my only thing was like, we've lost 13 games in a row.
Yeah.
Why this game? Like, now we're going to fire him this game. Like, what was like the premise of this is the one we're going to fire him when obviously given his record as a coach, his ass probably should have been gone a long time ago.
You got a long week, so you could get in somebody else, have somebody else take over as the coach, give them, that whole weekend plus this whole week. So it's like the mini bye week. If it doesn't happen at the bye week, then I would say that would be the only reason. Because if you fired him after Denver, you've only got 2 days to prepare. Coach taking over. I mean, it would have been it would already have been a disaster. But like at that point, then you're really asking for problems.
You're telling me the Bears game plan? Are you kidding me?
It looked like it.
What else happened? The Bears signed Evans from the Dolphins off their practice squad. Obviously, we'll get into that, why they did that. But we are down quite a few players right now on the offense.
Kari Blasingame was getting a lot of snaps late.
Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson are supposed to be back this Sunday versus Minnesota, man.
That's big.
It's going to be nice to see some of those veterans back there in the backfield, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
They were really killing us on some long passes and some blown coverages. So going to be nice to see those veterans come back. On top of that, coming off the IR, we got Kyler Gordon coming back, and we got Doug Kramer coming back too. So they're probably not going to start during the Vikings game, but rumor has it they are going to start versus the Raiders in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think they put the injury report out yet, so I don't think that comes out till tomorrow. So I would doubt it with those two. Yeah. But
I mean, rumor has it Gordon's going to be wearing the boot on his hand. I mean, as far as not being able to catch interceptions, but again, still being able to play the field. Which is
a guy with Gordon's talent with one arm is better than some practice squad guy with 2 arms. So
right now, you are 100% correct, my friend. 100% correct. So the Bears won 40-20. Let's start out with the offense.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, 282 yards, ran for 57, 4 TDs, 8 touchdowns in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And after the game, he was tied for 11 touchdowns for most touchdowns in the NFL with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, a 1-4 team.
He's
most touchdowns.
He's looked really good. He looked really good the last 2 weeks. Obviously it was the playbook was just find DJ Moore and throw it to him, which should have been going on all along.
Yes, exactly. Like we've been saying that every week. Like, why is not that should be the first look at DJ Moore.
Yes.
Every single play, dude.
But again, he looked comfortable again, Fields, this week. I guess that was the
Yeah.
key thing. He had an actual pocket to throw in this week.
Yeah.
Their offensive line played good.
Dude,
There's
they
no
did,
doubt
man.
about it. As much as we ripped them, they played really good this
And he
week.
scrambled when he was supposed to scramble.
They had
ran
run
when
plays that were
supposed to
good.
run.
He looked
Yeah,
confident in the
dude.
pocket. He was driving the ball. He missed a few throws, but so what? The ones he did make were great. The ones that
Yeah.
DJ Moore were all great.
He's definitely got a problem hooking up with Mooney right now. I definitely saw a little.
Some of those on Mooney too, though. I think the first one for sure that was kind of down the field. I think Mooney ran the wrong route, or I don't know what
What's
happened.
the old man rule? You get your hands on it, you gotta catch.
Oh,
it.
absolutely,
And then that one in the end zone where it hit him in the numbers and bounced off his chest. I mean,
no doubt.
dude, it was there, man. I mean, you touch it, you gotta catch it. That's the
Agreed.
whole rule.
Agreed.
But DJ Moore, go DJ. That's my DJ. DJ Moore had 8 receptions, 230 yards, 3 TDs, man. I mean, the kid's he's a beast, dude.
That would
He's
have usually
beast,
been a
dude.
2-week total for a Bears wide
Yeah.
receiver.
So I posted something about DJ Moore in my group earlier this week. I was like, go DJ. I was super excited. Of course, me being an idiot, being happy the Bears won.
Yeah, God forbid.
And someone literally posted, like, did you know that he got 168 yards after breaking tackles or
Yeah,
after
after
missed
the catch.
tackles? And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck does that matter, man? Like, isn't every offensive game because of a broken tackle
Yeah.
or a missed tackle? Like,
Yeah.
just didn't get the point the guy was trying to prove, man.
Well, he's an idiot.
It's like, why do you want to be negative? We finally have something
Yeah.
to be positive about,
Yeah.
and like you want to try and find the negative in it. You know
No,
what
that's
I mean?
there's just always going to be people like that. I mean, we can offer constructive criticism. Not everything went perfect for the Bears,
Yeah.
but they won 40-20, and they finally used DJ Moore how they should use him. Throw him the ball down the field, let him make plays. He's a talent. He's a superstar talent.
You got to admit, and everyone else at home will probably admit this too, that second half, everyone was just waiting for them to blow.
Oh,
that
definitely.
game.
Yeah.
It looked very familiar going into the third and fourth quarter of the safe plays again on offense, the defense giving up big plays they probably shouldn't be giving up, and
Mhm.
they're starting to score again. You can see they made adjustments. It was a very scary remnants of the Denver game.
I think it was Ron Rivera doing the Singletary and dropping his pants in the locker room, just berating his team
Riverboat, right?
because they played awful in that first
Oh,
half.
dude,
I mean, they were awful. So it was, I definitely was like, oh, okay, now they're finding their footing here, and
Yeah.
this is going to turn into a game. But thankfully, the Bears put the foot on the throat
Yeah.
and said, no, this ain't going to happen again.
I mean, no victory goes unshaved, though. We definitely paid the price for that victory, my friend. 5 injuries coming out of that game. We had Patrick at center, concussion, St. Brown hamstring, Homer hamstring, Herbert ankle, who he's been declared out for a few weeks, and Roshan Johnson with the concussion.
Yeah.
He's going to be questionable probably the next week or two.
Mhm.
So we got Blasingame going into
Their fullback.
yeah. No, we got
Dante Freeman.
Foreman.
Your Foreman.
Yeah,
Dante
Dante
Foreman.
Foreman coming into this game, which, dude, he was awesome with Carolina
I'm not
last year.
really
Yeah.
worried about it. Like, yeah, it's not good to have all those injuries, but if there was an area the Bears could sustain injuries and still have depth,
Yeah.
it was running back for sure. Because he's been a healthy scratch so far because they've had so much depth at running back.
Yeah.
So if you're going to lose a bunch of players, thank God it's all at running back because you've got
our
at least,
most deathful position. Is deathful a word? I just made that
it's a
up.
good word.
Okay.
Oh, it's a good word. So at least it's there and not
Yeah.
like at more secondary guys or more linebackers going out or
Dude,
another
you
offensive lineman.
You could definitely tell a difference too with Tevin Jenkins being back.
Yes, and
When
Nate
he
Davis.
was on
and
the
Nate
field-
Davis.
Yeah, dude, and both of them, dude,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
When they were back, dude, you could just tell it was a more solid line, a more organized line. Fields felt more comfortable.
Definitely.
It felt like, and then you could tell when they weren't out there when they were resting too. So
No doubt.
definitely a good offensive day for the Bears.
All the way around. Everyone looked good for the most part, and that's a nice, encouraging sign.
Yeah. Again, we still got Braxton Jones is out.
Mhm.
Doug Kramer's supposed to be coming back, like I said.
Sure.
So, dude, what's going on with our rehab department, our strength and conditioning coaches, dude? Like,
I think it's
it
just
feels
more,
like a lot of injuries at one time, right?
yeah, but it isn't like the White Sox soft tissue injuries where guys can't run to first base. It's just football, man. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to have these rash of injuries where this guy gets his leg blown up, this guy concussion, this guy with his back. It's just football, man. It's a tough sport, especially off that quick.
All at fucking once.
But
man.
that quick
Come on.
week too, man. I mean, that's an NFL problem with that.
Yeah.
That Sunday to Thursday is you're not giving guys much time to rest. And they got to get right back at it.
And again, the Bears were one of the teams that fought against the Thursday night football games. There was actually a handful.
I don't blame them.
And every single one that said they didn't want Thursday night football games, they all got 2 this year.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk.
Yeah, how
Don't
shocking.
give suggestions to the boss. Apparently,
But it's true, man. If you're all about health and safety, that's tough for these guys. It's a tough turnaround. I don't mind like occasionally the Saturday night game or something, but The Sunday
just won't do it because of
no,
freaking
I
college football,
know,
man.
but like the Sunday
Yeah.
to Thursday is a tough turnaround for these guys.
Hell yeah, it is, dude. Hell yeah, it is, man. I think it's crazy. Going in on defense again, we talked about, dude, for strong first half and just the weak second half, dude. It's play calling, right? It has to be play calling.
I think maybe that and just attrition of the fact that you got practice squad guys playing in the secondary. And I mean, the Bears were blitzing though. Like they were actually throwing a lot of blitzes. They were bringing guys off the bench that have never played it down in the NFL and said, just get out there and blitz.
Well, dude, after last week, all the criticism they received for not blitzing the entire second half.
They blitzed nonstop.
Yeah, dude. And look what happened.
And I think it was a product of the fact that you just have a not great quarterback in Washington. So hey, let's make them uncomfortable. That's the whole point. If you can't get home with 4, send another one. That isn't Patrick Mahomes back there. That's just some guy.
But again, first 2 quarters you hold them to 3 points.
Yeah.
And then going into the second half, you allow 17 points.
Yeah, well,
again, I think it's just more or less of the safety call, dude. Like they're still a scared team, dude. They're still afraid to go out there and take risks.
And I mean, some of those points were in garbage time. By that time, the game was already milked away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you're right, but I'm going to stick with the positives. I like some of the stuff they did on defense.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely positive.
Yeah.
Dude, plus, a lot of missed opportunities from the Commanders out there. There were some
pretty
big drop passes on there, and in the red zone, in the end zone. I mean, we definitely lucked out. It probably could have been a way closer to blowing a game than it actually was.
I agree.
Scary Terry dropped one that was pretty big, dude. I mean, so with that being said, I think that the Bears squeaked out of there a little bit cleaner than they should have, but it's a momentum game. They snapped a streak.
Yeah, listen.
They were celebrating in the clubhouse like they won the Super Bowl. I mean,
they should, man. They should. They got to feel good. You got to have some good positive momentum. You don't want to just every game sitting in your locker like staring at the wall for an hour after the game. Like it's a
horrible game. You get dumped on by your fans, and then
rightfully so.
Then the entire week going up to your next game, everyone in the media is just completely dumping you.
Rightfully so.
Stephen A. Jackson, the worst team ever in the NFL. Dude.
Well,
it's worse than the 0-16 Lions, dude.
Well,
dude, fuck Stephen A. Jackson. Smith. Yeah. Dude, I hate Stephen A. Smith, dude.
I don't want to.
That comment pissed me off, dude. Like,
he's just all about as many clicks as he can get. So anyone listening to him for an actual sports opinion shouldn't be listening to him at all. So go ahead, man.
Last week I talked shit about T.J. Edwards. I did because I saw him in some tape make some pretty big missed tackles. Mm-hmm. But then looking into it more, he's leading the NFL, second most tackles in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
So I guess he just can't tackle everybody. So I retract that previous statement. But again, like he made some big tackles here on Sunday again too. So that linebacking core is doing their job, my friend.
And like I said to you, when you're not getting a pass rush, these guys are getting into the second level really fast. So it's not easy on those linebackers. They're out there to defend the pass and catch the runner. Like they're not supposed to be like your pass rushers. They shouldn't have that problem. He's not be able to really play his game. So the linebacking core played a lot better this week.
Dude, most definitely. Like you said, coming back from IR, Kyler Gordon, like I talked about, Kareem, Blackwell, Harmon, Jackson, Johnson, all in the IR. But like I said, Gordon's coming back. That's going to be the most important one, dude.
All the secondary guys is huge.
Yeah, dude, stop those big plays, stop those big passes, because that's how we've been losing games is those downfield passes.
Absolutely. And Kirk Cousins is a lot better quarterback than Sam Howell, so you're going to need all the secondary again. I know Justin Jefferson's out, which is big.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, they've still got receivers. They've still got a pretty good regular season quarterback. So all the depth you can get in the secondary, you need it.
100%. So what was your biggest takeaway from Sunday's game? I mean, our Thursday night's game. My biggest takeaway was the first half team. And I think that's pretty much been the story the last 2 weeks. We got to start being a second half team, making the proper adjustments, doing what we need to do to continue to play as fierce and stay in the game.
2 things. The coaching staff, obviously the team ready to play. And that's, I mean, we've ripped them and rightfully so. And I still don't like Matt Eberflus, but hey, listen, off that terrible, devastating loss to Denver that you could have easily turtled here and been 0-5 real fast. And they didn't. They came out and they played hard.
Surprisingly, dude, nobody picked
Getsy
Commanders.
I didn't. And then Getsy had a good game plan. They made plays, and Justin Fields looked great again. He's progressing. Like 2 weeks ago, I was about ready to say, I don't think this is the dude. And I'm not saying I'm all the way back, but he's played really well the last 2 weeks. He's made a few mistakes. All players make mistakes, and it's magnified with him. But he's looked really good. Yeah. The last 2 weeks, he's looked really good.
He's under the microscope right now.
Absolutely. So. And he's. I'd rather see it going that way, not instead of 2 good games start the year and 3 terrible games. He's looking better than he has so far.
See, I call Thursday's game a player's win. That was a player's win, I think, rising above bad coaching, bad play calling, bad decision making, And the players just went out there and said, fuck it, we're going to achieve. We're going to go out there.
Sure.
We're going to win this game. We're going to make this victory happen.
Sure.
So, again, I don't think too much has gone away as far as decision-making, as far as bad coaching with Flus and Getsy.
No.
I think the players, though, are starting to rise above that and starting to show the skill we all know they have and saying, fuck it, we're going to get the job done.
Let Justin Fields play his game. That's the most
True,
key
yeah.
thing. Let him play the schoolyard ball he wants to play. Why would you tame down his talent? So hopefully they realize that. Hopefully they're smartened up here and they're going to look more like they did towards the end of last year in these last 2 games than they did beginning of the season. And then you start looking at the schedule and all of a sudden, there's some bad teams coming up they're playing here. So I'm not jumping back on they're going to win 9-game bandwagon, but it makes you pissed off that they lost to Denver.
Sure.
And now you start looking at, okay, this team could potentially, in theory, be 4-6 after 10 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, dude, plus we look at the Vikings record right now, who are
Not
1-4. We look at Green Bay's record, who's 2-3 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, one more victory right now, dude. We're still in the NFC North running.
100%.
Like
100%.
normally right now, Green Bay would probably be like 5-0, 4-1,
Sure.
and the rest of us would be like 1-4,
Sure.
2-3, whatever. But I mean, dude, it's still going to be a closely contested division this year as long as the Bears can pull out some victories like they did on Thursday night.
And like they should going forward. If you play more like that and less like you did the first 3 games, you've got a lot of winnable games coming up here. There's no doubt about it.
Dude, most definitely, most definitely. So to get into our next game then, playing Minnesota on Sunday, we have one of the coolest guys that I know in a Superfan costume. Dude, Vikings just have the best opportunity to dress up as characters for
Sure.
Superfans. I mean, it's freaking Vikings, dude. I mean, shields and swords and
It's cool.
masks, dude. It's freaking awesome.
That's really cool.
So tonight we got on the show, let me get a little intro for him, Mr. Sir Death. All right, Sir Duff is having a minor technical difficulty right now. He'll be on in a second, but super excited to be having him on, dude. I mean, he posted on his Facebook page earlier. I messaged him back in June because I'm just completely OCD about getting people on. He's like, I definitely would have never said yes to this guy. He's asked me back in June, so. All right, here he is, the man of the hour, Carl. Mr. Sir Death, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
I'm doing
Great. How
awesome,
about you,
man. Thank you for doing the show, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. This is the first time I've ever done a podcast. I've been asked to do a bunch, but I've never said yes before.
Yes, see, boo!
Dude, I was all
Victory!
pumped up back in June, man. We had the Super Bowl fucking all plotted out. And everything was great. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go on there. We'll brag about being 5-0.
How's that dumpster
Well,
feel right now?
welcome to
sir?
the dungeon here.
Welcome to my world, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, most definitely, man.
and
That-
everybody's going to the Super Bowl, you know. Everybody think, it's the optimistic time for, be an NFL fan. And then the season
yeah.
starts and everything goes to hell. The fucking referees are all Taylor Swift fans and don't what the fuck's gonna happen,
Hey, dude, the NFC North is wide open, though, brother. I mean, we all know how this division is, dude. You guys could easily come back, Vikings, and pull a playoff spot, dude. Like, no doubt.
Yeah, but for what? Because you get one and done then or something. Like Kirk Cousins is gone this year. At this point, there's no moral victories. I don't think we're going anywhere this year. At a certain point, you just say, hey, not that the team's gonna tank. Nobody tanks in the NFL. These guys are getting
No.
They compete hard, but I think when you say tank, it's more for the fans, so we can we can make ourselves feel better. Yeah, we're tanking for a higher draft pick. We're not actually doing it.
We were there last year, brother. We were there last year, my friend.
So then when you lose, you don't feel so bad. You're like, I wanted to lose. Fuck that. Yeah. Like, let's look at this. Let's look at Sunday. We got 1-4 teams here. And, we're playing for a draft pick now. I don't know about you guys, but we need a quarterback. See, the best thing
the fight for Caleb Williams.
That's the thing. The best thing for us would be if Justin and Fields ends up playing good and you guys stick with him and fucking we can get, you know what I mean? So the more teams at the top that need a quarterback, the less likely we are to get them,
Do you think you guys will trade Kirk Cousins if it keeps going the way you're going?
Who's going to want him, man? Like, not that he's a bad quarterback. I'm just saying.
He's still a top 10 quarterback in the league right now, man. I mean, he's still throwing 300-400 yards a game, even with these losses.
Not worth anything. I'm saying who's going to mortgage their future for a 35-year-old or 30, whatever.
Nobody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, the Jets just did that with Rodgers, but the guys won 3 MVPs in a Super Bowl or whatever. I mean, it was somebody, they mentioned the Jets as a possible trade candidate. Do the Jets even have any fucking draft picks left after the
first? Oh, you might it would be like a 3rd round pick or something, but yeah.
Get something. Yeah, I would go for that. I would because I've been watching football my whole life. I got to be realistic. You're not fucking coming back from 1-4 and going to the Super Bowl. You're not, I mean, it's and there are no moral victories, Well, they finished the season strong and Kurt left here on a good, that doesn't help us next year, so
no doubt.
Yeah.
So let's go back to talking about the beginning of Mr. Sir Death story, little baby Sir Death. I don't think you came out with all those tattoos. It would have been cool if you did, though. But let's talk about when you started getting into the love of football, man. Is it a family thing? You grew up that way? Been a Vikings fan your whole life?
No, well, yeah, a Viking fan my whole life. But I grew up by the Canadian border, man, and hockey is king up there.
Okay, nice.
Player all through high school, and I was a goalie. And I was a football Viking fan, but then in the 80s, I was like, once I turned 14, 15, I started partying and I fell in with football mostly in my 20s. It was the 90s and I was out I turned 21. I wasn't concerned with the NFL at that point. And then Randy Moss, 24. I mean, I've always been a Viking fan.
Yeah, there you go.
I was 5 years. The last Super Bowl we were in, when I was 5 years old, and I got pictures of me all in my Viking stuff. But Randy Moss is what really brought me back into it. When Randy came on, and there's a lot of people that can say the same thing. Like they kind of fell away for a while, and then when Randy came,
such a fun player, man, one of the best wide receivers of all time.
Yeah, and he was so much fun to watch. And then ever since then, I've just been a diehard. And then I didn't start going to games like 14 years ago. I went to like 1 or 2 games in my life, but then I decided, I just gotten into law school and things were going good. And what happened is when we played the Saints in the NFC Championship and, the bounty gates and all the cheap hits and all the bullshit, I hate to be one of those people who complains about the refs all the time, but I mean, they had a fucking bounty on Favre. There was late hit. I mean, they were targeting his ankles. That shit would never happen today. You fucking look at Aaron Rodgers too hard and they fucking throw a flag. So anyways, after the thing, I remember reading all this stuff online about how Saints fans were throwing beer cans at Viking fans and picking fights and whatever. And so then when they announced the rematch down there, I immediately booked tickets down there. I go down and have somebody throw a beer can at me. And
please do, sir. Please do.
Let's do it. So, but
I'd be scared to throw a high five at you, sir. So I doubt you had any beer cans thrown at you when you were down there.
Yeah, no, we had a great. So what happened was, I ended up meeting my best friend Diggs Garza on the plane on the way down, and he introduced me to this other Viking super fan. I ain't gonna mention his name because he's excommunicado now. He's a piece of shit. He stole front row seat licenses from my best friend or whatever. That's a different story for a different.
I heard that story.
Anyways, but we were down there, and as we were walking back from the game, some drunk Saints fan splashed water, and he hit my friend in the face. But then a couple drops hit my girl, so I just grabbed him and threw him on the pavement, and I was gonna kick him in the face, and Diggs come up and like push me back, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, chill out. And then he dumped the beer on the guy's head, and he's like, you should join the Viking World Order.
You seem like the perfect man to just join the VWO.
He's like, I'm like, what the fuck is that? He's like, I don't know. Well, he's like, there's 6 of us right now. We're trying to save the stadium and whatever, you know. And and I was like, fuck it, yeah, sure, you know. And so I joined the next week, and that was 14 seasons ago. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, the VWO had a very specific purpose when it was started, and that was to save the Vikings, you know, because there was serious talk that they were going to move to LA, you know, and so our mission was to like change public opinion, lobby, get whatever, and so, you know, get the word out, whatever. I had just started law school, and I was the admin of a group called the Minnesota Viking Family, and I think we had at the beginning maybe 10,000, you know, or like by that time there was maybe 10,000 people in there. It wasn't a lot.
That's a lot. Hell yeah.
Well, no, it was pretty. It's like 70,000 now, but so it was just starting. But
Jesus,
I would, you know, in law school, when you're a first year student, you just sit in the same classroom all day, every day, and the teachers come in and out. You all take the same classes. So I'm sitting in class from like 7 a.m. till 3 every day, and all I'm doing is fucking sitting online, recruiting people for like I would post all email addresses for the legislative people, and everybody email this guy today, and then I would say just copy and paste this, and the guy get like 3,000 emails in a day, and then I'd be like, call, you know, we'd post the phone numbers of the representatives, we'd post the email addresses, we'd you know, we just lobbied and did everything we could and used that to organize, you know, and that was kind of like when social media was just starting. I mean, 2010 was
sure.
Facebook had been around a couple of years, but we really put it to use there. And over the course of 2 years, man, we were at the Capitol, you know, we were like not protesting, but like, well, kind of, you know, they were at the Capitol lobbying and making appearances and everything. And I was there one day, and we went and talked to a bunch of legislators, but you know, in the end, we got it done. And to thank us, the Vikings gave us 106 seats in our own section, in section 140.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is awesome, man.
It was super cool. But then, so that story, then to condense that, the Vikings called me because they wanted me to sit right behind Diggs and Sid, the president and the vice president of the Viking World Order. They wanted me right behind them. And so then they called me to set up the seat licenses, and they're like, hey, you currently aren't a season ticket holder, because at that point I was using somebody else's season tickets. He was an older guy with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
They said, we don't want people to get mad that we're bumping you up to the front, you know, row. He's like, do you trust Sid? Can we put the tickets in his name, and then he can transfer them to you after a year? And I didn't even think twice. I was like, oh yeah, sure. You know, he's my best friend, whatever.
Yeah.
And then don't ever trust people when it comes down to those front row licenses are about $50 to $100,000.
Oh my God.
You can make
crazy.
Well, think about this. You can make, you know, 8,000-9,000 on them a year, and they're good for 20 years. You know, they're worth a lot of money. I think it's 25,000 each, 50,000 total, or 60,000. Either way, you know, that was, Sid knew what those were worth, and he stole them from Diggs. He went to Diggs, and he's like, oh, you're like a son to me. He's like, we're going to pay the seat licenses for you, and you just buy the tickets, and then we'll transfer them all to you in the will and shit. Like, he did that because he knew what his fucking plan was. He was going to steal these tickets from, and Diggs earned those seats, man. He was the vice president of VWO. He was the one at the fucking Capitol every day. He was the one lobbying and protesting and doing. There's
a reason you guys are still in Minnesota right now.
That dude is the heart and soul of the fucking Viking World Order. And this other asshole from fucking Canada would show up once in a while and expect everybody to kiss his ass. So anyway. That I wasn't, you know, I don't want to fucking devote any time to that jerk.
No. I'm gonna guess he doesn't show his face around too much anymore.
You know, he don't come around no more, because
I don't blame him. I probably wouldn't come around either.
Out of that motherfucker. Listen, hey, he sent a fucking, that dude is such an idiot. He sent an email to my parole officer trying to get me in trouble. Saying my parole officer just laughed. My parole officer showed it to me. He's like, who is this dumb motherfucker? I was like, I know he knew who it was. He had already read the story about Sid.
Yeah.
He just couldn't believe how stupid this fucking guy is.
So Carl, let's get back on track to getting back to being the season ticket holder. You start going to the games. You're fully devoted. You're there every game. when did Sir Death come into play?
Well, that was right away, because then when I joined the VWO, it's a funny story. Me and my ex-wife were down on Decatur Street in New Orleans, right?
Mhm.
And we're exploring and shit, and we go into this old Army surplus store, and they had a gladiator metal breastplate, and this kind of, I bought that for $50, and then I bought this skull mask, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go home. I painted it purple. I put a Norseman head on the armor, and I painted this skull mask purple and yellow, and then I showed up the next week in Minneapolis for the game. And the VWO has a knighting ceremony where you pick a game day name. Like you guys got Bear Mysterio and stuff. We got but he's got, and that's across the league, man. Every super fan's got their own name. So when you come into the VWO, you have to pick a surname. And like Game of Thrones, man, where they knight people in.
I've seen it online, man. I follow the VWO online, man. Doing the ceremony with the sword and everything. It's awesome.
People that think it's cheesy, but other people know it's a brotherhood. It's a big thing. It's a good thing, man. It's the VWO changes people's lives in a good way. Like it really it makes going to games so much more fun.
Dude, for sure, dude. I got to get out there and party with you guys, dude. I partied with Sir Foz over at the Tailgate Hall of Fame this year. We had a blast.
Yeah.
Clifford, Lavender, I got you, dude. Yeah. He's going to be on the show for the second time we play the Vikings, so I'm excited to have him on, dude.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Right? Lavender, and
yeah.
People are listening to this, don't know who he is. They're not going to understand this because he's like a real dramatic. He's just a funny guy, man. The way
he's hilarious, dude. He's hilarious. And Clifford are the best, dude.
Yeah. So I met a fucking Carolina Panthers Lavender. I swear to God, he had the same mannerisms, just the same demeanor. He had like a kind of steampunk guy. He was really cool, man. But I love that dude. He's good. But what was I gonna say about the VWO now? Oh, so when I was getting ready to get knighted in, Diggs comes up to me and he's like, what's your surname going to be? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, well, you got to have a name. And I was like, well, I don't pick something. Then he's like, well,
Sir Carl, I got to come up with something cooler than that, right?
he's like, well, you got that skull mask. Let's call you Sir Death. I'm like, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't, and then it just kind of stuck and fit. And then, everybody with the VWO that you have to get a tattoo to enter, right? And so, I'm
guessing you had no problem doing that whatsoever.
I didn't have tattoos, man. I didn't start getting tattooed until I was 40 years old.
Stop it.
I was a first-year law school student, so I went and got a little Norseman head on this shoulder here. He's under the dragon now, and it just it was a $150 tattoo. I didn't care. He's Diggs was just get a VWO tattoo. So then all these new people started joining, and they had way better tattoos. And I was like, well, I can't just stick with this little So, but then, what the real story behind it is my ex-wife had some childhood scars on her arm, and she wanted a full sleeve. And so I found the best tattoo artist in the state. Scotty Munster is my artist. He did Stephon Diggs' sleeve. He did Kyle.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, dude. Your tattoos are fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, he's done a ton of Viking players and Timberwolves players and stuff. And I went and started I was going to have my wife getting a sleeve, and I got one tiny little tattoo. How much of a pussy would that make me look like? But so I started getting sleeved out with her, and I just liked the way it looked, man. I kept going, and I'm going to go until I'm done, in my legs. I'm not going to tattoo my head, but everything else. And plus the whole theme, at first I was just going to do Packers on one arm, just dead. Then I was like, well, I might as well do the NFC North. And then I was like, well, I might as well do all 31 teams. And that's actually a lot of teams to fit in there. So I stacked up some bellies on my stomach. Everybody's like, there's a stack of dead bodies. It's Eli Manning and Drew Brees. And it looks just like them. They're like, everybody, when that TikTok video of my tattoos came out.
Yeah.
Everybody kept like, what was that? Well, it's a way to get rid of 3 teams. And all 3 of those teams, like they're like, why did you have to pick the players? Why couldn't it have been mad? Look, for Lions, I can kill Lions. For Bears, I can kill Bears. What are you going to do for a Giant, a Steeler, and a fucking Saints? I'm not going to kill a Saints because I'm not.
What about a Packer? How do you kill a Packer?
Yeah, well, that's why I got Aaron Rodgers there, because those were the defining.
Some dude putting clothes in like a suitcase or something. Like, how do you kill a Packer?
That's why I had to use the players there, because otherwise I wouldn't. If they're like for Lions and Bears, that's cool, man. The Bears head on my stomach are super cool, man. I found a cool ass picture of a bear, and I was like, okay, now just cut its head off and have blood dripping on it. Nothing
I'm gonna
against
post pictures when we win on Sunday, brother. You just wait. I'm just kidding.
Hey, if you win, that's all part of our tanking strategy.
We planned this. Don't feel victorious.
Hey, look, man. At this point, it's one of those things where you can just have fun, man. You know what I mean? And like our tailgate party, you guys do the same thing. I think
Man. You got it. You got to have fun, man.
First and 10 tailgate looks like a lot of fun, and I really
You haven't been to Chicago yet, sir. That's what's up with that, sir.
Because when you're planning trips for the season, which one sounds more fun?
Your neighbor, Chicago.
Denver or Chicago, you know, I mean.
Okay, you're gonna go to Denver.
I want to come there. It's a drive. It's not gonna be that bad.
Yeah.
I wish I would have planned it this year, but I also had a lot of health stuff. I just had a heart.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah, most definitely. Completely understandable.
I'm definitely going to, I think next year for away games, I'm going to do the 3 NFC North teams, because, boy, that'll save me a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could drive all 3 of them. That's $1,200 in flights I just saved, you know? So
I don't know about you, but, dude, I have, like, the closest friends of super fans from all 3 of the NFC North teams, from the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, dude. I mean, their tailgates are all super open, dude. I mean, everyone's super cool. They all come to our tailgates for the away games. We've taken care of them. So, I mean, it's just a good time to go to, like, the Blue Crew and the Tub Gators in Detroit.
The Tub Gators are awesome. And that's the thing. So all these, every day I get
Pilgrim and Denny and all those guys. They're awesome, dude.
Rackman is cool, all those guys. But every day I get at least 20 people calling me a fag or a loser on my page. It's some Packer fans. It's never fans or Lions fans. It's always Packer fans. And it's like, you dudes are like, you're missing the whole point of this, man. It's a fucking game. You know, it's for fun. You make friendships. You reach across the aisle. You have to just go online and like fucking be an asshole. It's like, dude, that's pathetic, man. And I have really hated Packer fans over the years, because ever since I started, and like back in the day when I first started doing this, one of them stole pictures of my wife and put them on the Vikings official page and was like, "This is the VW whore. She gets a VW."
Oh no! That is fucked up, man.
And so, like, imagine somebody saying that about your wife and you can't get your hands on them. And I was like, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be at a fuck game and a Packer fan's gonna come up to me and say something that's gonna trigger that, and I'm gonna think it's him, and I'm gonna. But ever since then,
give me some innocent guy. You're like, did you post pictures of my wife? He's gonna be like, no.
I've gotten to know so many good Packer fans. My best friend that passed away last December, he was a Packer fan.
I'm sorry to hear, my friend. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, it's sad, but that's it. That's life goes on. But I've gotten to know some really good people. It's if you actually hate somebody over a football team, you're a fucking moron, man. You know what I mean?
Dude.
These are all
just supporting our teams where we live, having a good time.
Because they go to Target instead of Walmart. These are fucking billion-dollar corporations. They don't give a shit about you. They're making money. It's more than a corporation to us because we grew up on it. It's our home state. Yeah. It's our blood, whatever. But the reality of it is, man, it's just a game. It's a business, and there's no reason to take it seriously. When that video of my tattoos came out, everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking nutcase. Oh, it's just a game." Yeah, I know it's just a game. This shit's all fun. You think this is fucking serious? You think I go around killing Packer fans? This shit's fun, man. When I'm at games, all the other teams' fans always get a kick out of it and shit. It's fun to show them, I got the Dolphins tattooed on my ass now, but I haven't been showing that one. Brittany likes it because it's of her. So
why don't you just deeply describe it? You don't got to show us or anything.
I hope it's you riding a dolphin.
Are you riding a dolphin with Brittany?
Listen, there's a Viking longboat at sea in my back fighting a dragon, and the plan was to have the ocean go down in my ass cheeks and be under there stabbing dolphins in the head with a spear. And with my current girlfriend, because I got like 4 wives tattooed. I want to just keep going. And everybody, and that's the thing. People make fun of that.
We need a Stir Death episode part 2, man. We need more than one story with you, my friend.
So think about this. All these dudes comment online. They're like, oh, his ex-wife. Yeah, I dumped her and moved on to the next one. They're like, I wonder why she left him. She didn't leave me, bro. And I just keep putting them out. Like, yeah, I really don't regret having a hot chick fuck a bunch of them tattooed on me, man. I loved all those girls. I tattooed
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah, if I tattooed her on me, then she meant enough to me at the time. One of them was just I happened to be dating her at the time, and I was like, well, I got to get another tattoo there, and I wanted to be a chick, but I with her. And
you seem right at the time, right now, right?
I did it anyway because she's cute and whatever. So, but the Brittany tattoo, she didn't want to be killing dolphins. And so then I posted a thing onto my page, and like 900 people commented, like, yeah, don't kill dolphins. It was all chicks. They're all like, don't kill dolphins. So it's me and her riding dolphins, one on each ass cheek, meeting in the middle with like a clownfish and a shark and coral and everything. It's probably my most beautiful tattoo, but I'm not making it happen.
I am envisioning your ass right now, Carl. I can just see it, brother. I can just see it.
If I was in Miami playing the Dolphins, I would show it there. Dolphin fans are some of the coolest fans you'll ever meet. I love them.
Oh, yeah, dude. Tailgate 305, dude. Dolph Freaky and all those guys. Christian Mora, he does all my chains and stuff for me. Great people, man.
Love them all. The Dolphin Diva, they're great. And the thing is, they're to be a fan base, man. You should be to be proud of like that. I hate to bring up Eagles fans, but when you're proud,
they're the worst, dude. They're the worst, man. Bring them up. I got no shame talking bad about them.
If you're proud of being a piece of shit, man, like what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, who treats people like that?
The Philadelphia way. I mean, between that and Phillies and Sixers,
the worst fans in the entire world, dude. They really are.
Yeah,
who treats people that way?
I have two friends that were assaulted in the stadium there. So I got really bad blood with because you beat up two of my friends and they're 150-pound guys and fucking 6 of you jumped a 150-pound guy. So it was my first year of law school, right? It was 2010.
Because they were there supporting their team, right?
Yeah, exactly. So 2010, Joe Webb goes to Philly and starts on Monday Night Football in the snow, whatever, right? And the fucking Vikings are winning. Joe Webb's winning, right? And I'm at home watching it, and my phone is in the other room charging, and I don't even pick it up all game, right? After the game, I go pick it up, and my buddy's texting me. He's from Pennsylvania. He's a Viking fan. He went to the game by himself. And he texted me, and he's like, dude, I think I'm going to get jumped. He's like, will you call the stadium and tell them to send security to section 200 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And I called him right away. I was like, dude, what happened? He's like, after the Vikings scored a touchdown, the 6 guys around him just started punching him, beating the shit out of him. And he was there by himself. He wasn't talking shit. I started beating the shit out of him. Security came down and took him out, left the other 6 guys there. They took him to a luxury suite to watch the game, but they left those 6 assholes there. My brain can't even wrap itself around that. In Minneapolis, have you been to the U.S. Bank Stadium?
No, I heard it's like the most beautiful stadium in the entire NFL.
Nobody fucking punched anybody. They just fucking grab them and said 6 guys to jump. I mean, my brain can't even comprehend that shit happened there. Yeah. And you did it to a 150-pound dude. I mean, he's 106. He's a tiny dude. Yeah. Like, what kind of a fucking pussy needs 6 guys to? I mean, it was the fucking craziest shit.
Didn't Philadelphia fans boo and throw batteries at Santa Claus? So I mean, it's like
these are the people we're dealing with, Carl.
Santa Claus back in the 70s or 80s. That was a long time. They have a reputation of being pieces of shit. But
cheesesteaks at the pork brick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there eventually because I'm doing all 32. But I'm going there. Looking for trouble. And I'm going to bring some fucking big backup with me because I got some big friends that know how to fucking fight. And
oh, yeah, brother.
They're not 150-pound fucking, gamer nerds that fucking can't get, I don't know what you think you're accomplishing by jumping, because the football team scored a touchdown. That's the worst.
That's crazy, man. That's craziness.
It is. I don't talk like, I did time in prison, man, and you don't talk shit to people in there because if you do, you're gonna get smashed. And if somebody talks shit to you, you smash them. That's just the way it is, man. And that shit's ingrained in my head. So
no, I didn't want to bring that up. It's completely up to you. But do you want to talk about that at all or no?
I don't give a shit, dude.
I'm intrigued now. I didn't know this.
I've been a gangster my whole life, man. My dad was a doctor, and I was a fucking pre-med student. And I got sucked into some shit. Okay, remember when they talked about the last election? They talked about the 1990 crime bill, and everybody's apologizing for it. Biden's like, oh, it was a big mistake, whatever. But that bill passed 99-0. There was one person that was absent, didn't vote. Everybody fucking was on board with it, and it locked up all these people for fucking 10, 20 years, first-time nonviolent offenders, you know, young kids, whatever. It affected mostly young black kids from the inner city. I got affected. I was a pre-med student at NDSU. I went home one weekend to my hometown, Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Weed in high school from his aunt and uncle were meth cooks out in San Bernardino. They brought 2 pounds of crank to Thief River Falls, Minnesota, and got everybody in the town addicted to crank in 1991. Nobody knew what the fuck it was, dude. I didn't know what the fuck it was. It was 1991.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, I got indicted by the feds under RICO statutes, which was supposed to be used to go after organized crime.
Yeah.
Fucking sent me to federal prison for 7 years for no dope. Like, I never got caught with any dope. It was a conspiracy charge of like under an ounce. And I got fucking 7 years in federal. Like, number one, you can get charged with that today. And I wouldn't go to prison. I'm a young kid, man. I was an addict.
Yeah.
I was selling enough just to support my habit. I wasn't some kind of baller or whatever. And I'm in federal prison. So I get there and immediately I'm fighting for my life from the first week, man. And my first 3 years in there, I spent 2 years in solitary confinement for fighting. I was a young, pissed off kid. I wasn't going to take any shit. And I just couldn't stop. And it fucked me up for life, kind of, like it doesn't,
Sure, yeah, of course. I couldn't see how it couldn't, man.
Yeah.
That's
When you
crazy.
years in solitary, and it not years at one stretch. It was like 30 days, then 90 days, then 120 days. I think the longest stretch I ever had was like 8 months, but it was, cumulatively that long. And, like 8 months in solitary confinement with nobody to talk to, nobody there. That's like, your brain can't even really process what that's like. And so I'm very grateful about all the shit I have now in my life now,
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you brought it up, man, because like everything I read about you.
Dude, I was going to say, I thought you were at a bar when you first logged on. That's a badass dungeon you got down there, man.
And I was going to say, hey, when you spend 8 months in a little cement closet and you have no sensory input, then you end up living in a place like this that just looks like with shit everywhere. Just here, I'll take you out. This is just my basement dungeon shit, but like my Viking.
Sure, Death Manor.
Yeah. It is kind of like a little dungeon down here. It's dope.
Oh yeah, dude, this is awesome, man.
Yeah. So there's so many videos of this shit online and stuff though. I mean, because then it goes like my garage. I got the arcade out there. I got the moss pit, tailgate motorhome and stuff. I mean, I've been doing big things, All
right, when I come in town, I'm staying at your house. I'm gonna sleep in your basement, bro. Okay. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
I wouldn't let you sleep in the basement. That's my temp. But the garage is dope, man. The garage is the arcade, and there's
Han would be good for you.
No, man, I'm glad you brought up the whole situation with the prison and everything, dude, because you really are a turnaround story, man. And now you're out there, you're doing big things, your life's on track. Got a good girl. You're out there being a super fan, doing a bunch of great stuff for the community, man. You're back in the stands. Everyone loves you, dude. Part of the VWO. Just such a great turnaround story, dude. So people out there who see stuff like that, dude, when they're at rock bottom, perfect example. You could definitely turn things around, man.
Yeah. Well, there's so many, like, when I talk about my addiction from 20 years ago, I haven't done anything but smoke pot in over 20 years, man. It's been 22 years. And I've drank a couple times, but I'm not a drinker. So when I do, like down in Miami last year, I was like, I'm going to get drunk. And then I called my girlfriend the wrong name on FaceTime when I was introducing her to everybody, passed out on the beach. And then for the first time in my adult life, I pissed on the floor drunk, just stood up. I was sharing a room with two of my friends, these girls, and there was 2 double beds in this Airbnb, right? And I woke up and they're like, hey, you peed over in the corner on your suitcase on the floor. I'm like, fuck you, I did not. There's no way. And when I look, I'm like, holy shit, man. That's so.
Don't act like you haven't been there. We're not better than you.
In my life, I'm not a drinker, dude. I'm 51 years old. I've never passed out from drinking. I've never pissed or done anything. And I really well, it's good though. You say you gotta try everything.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
So, but
try everything once, right?
I'm not a drinker. I like to smoke, and smoking's legal. You guys are legal too, right? You've been legal for a while.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
I be seeing them big ass joints you guys are rolling up at the VWO.
Hey,
I be seeing it on Facebook, bro.
It's fun, and and it's all legal and whatever, It
Hell yeah, man.
should
More
have
the
never.
merrier.
I tell you this, I've never seen anybody get stoned at a fucking tailgate and start a fight or fucking pass out or throw up or anything like that. And people that get
maybe just eat all the food that's there. It's about it.
hey, that's the best thing, man. That's what you're going for, So, yeah, the drinking thing, that you see so many of those every time you see a fight in the stands, man. Those people are drinking. You know what I mean?
Dude, of course.
$1,000,000%.
Yeah,
There's always alcohol involved, and I'm waiting for him to start selling weed at the stadium and have a smoking section. You got liquor and booze. Why not have a smoking section, a little smoking lounge?
There might be an edible section. That would
I'm kind of surprised Colorado doesn't.
Yeah, gummies, selling packs of gummies out.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that happening.
Well,
all right, so coming up to the game, we got to get back on track here a little bit, dude. Dude, I could talk to you all day, man. You're the best. Bears versus Vikings this Sunday. Obviously, we're both 1-4 teams. You got Justin Jefferson out on IR right now. Bears are a big question mark. I mean, Kirk Cousins is legit. I mean, Addison's been good for you guys.
We have a
what kind of game do you think we're going to see on Sunday?
We have a history of losing in Chicago, and we do. It's a long history. We've never played well in Chicago. Chicago's a tough place to play, just the outdoor stadium and depending on what time of year about the weather, look, I think we could easily win on Sunday. Would that make me feel good? Not really, man. I'm not I don't want people to be like, Sir Death thinks we should tank for draft picks, but I don't think we're going anywhere this year. And I like to be the most positive I can, but I don't know, man. I nothing has gone right this year. And the worst thing is that fucking game on Sunday, man, those refs, when a dude takes off his helmet and you tell him to put it back on.
Yeah, dude, that should have been
that is not a fucking judgment call. It's an automatic flag. Not tell him to put it back on before I throw the flag. No, you throw the fucking flag. And that shit keeps the drive.
I watched that game. I completely agree with you, man. I was a little thrown off by that.
I was like, this is fucking real? Okay, all those conspiracy theories about the NFL are true. Okay. I'm not gonna go that far, But I mean that shit there, you gotta explain that to me.
Yeah, no, 100%, man.
You couldn't rig the NFL because
what's up with all the fumbles, man? I mean, that's been like the key story. I've watched almost every Vikings game. I pay close attention to the Vikings since they're in a division, dude. Like, you guys have fumble-itis going on that team right now, man. I just can't explain it, dude. Like, every time you guys are in it or something's going on, it's like fumble.
Even the first drive last week, our new tight end, but I always want us to win. Okay.
Sure, of course.
It feels good. But I've also been around long enough to know that sometimes if you win, you lose in the long run because all of a sudden you drop 4 spots in the draft and the guy you wanted, your franchise quarterback is up there, so I'm torn, man, because I always want to see him win. But I'm at the point, when I said tanking is for that concept is for the fans, so we don't get pissed off and whatever. And I think it's like I'm at that point right now. Well, we lose. I'm not at a care point anymore. And the thing is, dude, okay, so I've been watching football like hardcore since Randy Moss for 24 years. And the first 10 of that, I didn't go to. I watched at home, and all I did was gamble and play fantasy and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah, the best way to watch it.
Yeah. When you go to the games, you miss so much because you aren't seeing the replays, you aren't hearing the announcements.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
I get so fucking angry. Like I would get so angry watching the games at home because I didn't have anything positive to take from it. I was watching the game, we sucked, whatever. Now I go there and I'm having a fucking great tailgate party. I'm taking pictures with the hundreds of people. I'm, seeing all these kids and families coming up, talking to them and hanging out. And after the game, we're going back to it
makes it all worth it, man.
It's a different type of thing, man. And for those people that take it so seriously because you're sitting at home watching it, man, get out and go socialize Football should be about family and friends and good memories and shit. It shouldn't be about sitting at home watching it by yourself, getting mad and fucking smashing shit. I mean,
well, it's these degenerate gamblers on DraftKings who got their mortgage on the line and their heat's turned off.
Those are the guys.
I need money. I'll turn the heat on for it.
Those are the guys that are sending death threats to Madison and all that bullshit, man, to make because they lost 10 grand. You shouldn't have been betting fucking 10 grand.
Yeah, dude. Those racist comments to Madison was unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, and it's just so cowardly, man. And I'm friends with his family and stuff, man. And I've never, but I guarantee whoever fucking wrote that isn't somebody that goes to games and hangs out. It's a piece of shit sitting in
definitely. They're racist and they're wearing suspenders somewhere in a farmhouse, probably. Because that's how they were talking. That's for damn sure. Well, give me a score for Sunday, dude. Give me your score. Give me your prediction score.
I'm gonna say 21-17 Vikings.
Okay. Low scoring game, defensive game. Yeah. Maxwell, what are you thinking, sir?
27-23 Bears.
Woo! I'm gonna go 24-21 Bears. I think it's not coming down to a field goal. I think we're kind of
if Justin Jefferson was playing, I'd be reversed. But that gives me a little faith in the Bears.
That's our only hope, is that the best wide receiver in the NFL is not playing.
And if Fields keeps balling out like he's been the last couple of weeks, it'd be big.
Well, Sir Death, it has been a complete honor having you on, sir. I appreciate it. I'm glad I booked you out in June, man, because you probably would have said no to me recently. So I'm giving you 5 months notice next time, too. So that way you can't say no to me. And I'm going to be like, remember?
5 months is so far away. It's like
I'm going to book you for next season right now. First game next season, you're coming back on.
Next season, I will be in Chicago. 100%, man. 100% I'm going to be there, and I look forward to meeting you guys.
Hell yeah, dude. First and 10 tailgate, we'll take care of Sir Death and any VWO that wants to come with you, my friend.
Next season, I'll be there, man. I'm going to bring a little.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. We're going to have a blast. I'm excited already. Carl, thanks for coming on the show, dude. It's been awesome, man. We've had a great time. You're awesome. You're hilarious, dude. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. Hopefully the Vikings' luck turns around just like ours, and we have an interesting rest of the season,
Thanks,
brother.
It's been a real pleasure talking to both of you.
You too, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it, brother.
See you later,
have a good night, sir. Cheers. Sir Death. Fuck yeah, dude. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Sir Death's awesome, dude. We got to get him back on. I feel like there's so much more that we missed. Like, there needs to be like a 2-part series, dude.
Yeah, well, there's always next year.
There's always next year. That's for damn sure. All right, so before we head out here, guys, stuff coming up for the rest of the next couple weeks. Next week, we're going to have on Go Power Raider from the Raiders Nation. So we'll be breaking down the Bears-Vikings game from this Sunday, next Tuesday, the 17th at 7 p.m. And then Go Power Raider will be on the show. We'll be talking about that matchup. Again, our second at-home game in a row. For this Sunday, Bears versus Vikings. First and 10 tailgate is going to be hosting everything. Food truck. Taco Bell is going to be there. I talk about it all the time on my page. Bear Mysterio is going to be there slinging tacos and all the best stuff under the sun. Make sure you guys head over to Facebook, fattailgate@gmail.com. $25 a person. Just make sure you put what game you're paying for, because on top of that, we are selling tickets right now for the Bears versus Raiders game. The following week, the same situation. We'll have a food truck. Raiders Nation is going to be there. $25 a person. So anyone listening who wants to be coming to either one of those fat tailgates, make sure to go on PayPal, fattailgate@gmail.com. Pay the amount, $25 per person, and just indicate what game you're coming to, Raiders or Vikings, just to make it easy for us to find out who you are when you show up.
And you might catch me at the Raiders one.
Oh, and Maxwell is going to be coming to his first
Maybe.
and 10
We'll see.
He's going to be signing autographs, I think. Just people are going to be like, I've seen you before. Who's this guy? No, it's going to be a good time. We're super excited. Hopefully the Bears pull it out this weekend like we were talking about. And let's just hope for another fun podcast like we had tonight, to where we can be talking about a Bears victory again next week, dude. How nice it would be to be 2-4, my friend.
Going into a beatable Raiders team would be nice.
Going into a very beatable Raiders team. So, I mean, they took down Green Bay. I don't know if that says much, but anyways, guys, I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. We had a good time. Sir Death, thank you for coming on, sir. Tons of fun as per usual. Bears finally won. Streak's over with. Let's keep it up, baby. All right. All right, everybody. Bear down, everyone.
Thank you, and go Bears!